It's Maestro Styles and Trey Frazier here in the
Yes, sir.
house. Welcome to an episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, video style. We're doing this week a little bit differently, folks. So if you guys want to follow us on social media, you could do that on our Facebook page. You can follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Also on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. And you can follow us on our YouTube channel. So Maestro, man, what's popping, man? I see you got the number 7 Roethlisberger jersey on. I'm just gonna let you kind of, get your little monologue on, since I had my moment last week after a great win on Monday night. You guys had a Monday night game, didn't go so well, so I'm gonna let you take the floor, man.
Yeah, look, man, at this point, I am celebrating the career of Ben Roethlisberger because in my mind, based on this 2020 season and more specifically the past month, he's done. He's done. And I know they was talking about, he came out, earlier Monday during the day was like, he wants to make sure that he wants to play through 2021, which is the last year on his contract and all this and that. If I'm that organization, I'm trying to cut losses, and I understand. Like I know people going to tell me about all the cap hit they're going to take if they get rid of him this year. If we can cut Ben Roethlisberger and sign Bud Dupree next year, I'm for it. We're going to lose Bud Dupree if we don't find some cap space anyway. The weakness in this team is the quarterback. It's the quarterback player. Yeah, obviously we got other weaknesses, running back, things of that nature.
I was going to say the running game.
Sure, of course we have those other things, but for me, Ben Roethlisberger is the glaring thing that needs to be changed. And obviously he's a Hall of Famer. He just in this past game threw for 60,000 career yards and it was 5,000 completions or something like that that he completed.
5,000 completions, over 60,000
yards that he just did again, that he just achieved against the Bengals this past Monday. All Hall of Fame career, all those things. It's time to fold it, man. It's just no other way to slice it. It's time to fold it. It's time for Pittsburgh to go on a quarterback hunt. I'm not saying start Mason Rudolph next week or, things of that nature. We need to see if we can come up with some type of a game plan that can get this offense going throughout the playoffs if we're going to make a serious playoff run. But as far as I'm concerned, Ben Roethlisberger need to go ahead and hang it up this year, or we need to cut him by March when we would, when he'd be owed his bonuses and things of that nature. It's over. It's over for me.
Why don't you do the man's Hall of Fame speech while you're at it too, man? Like this is like a coronation of Roethlisberger right now. Like you just putting the bow on everything at this point.
He's a Hall of Famer. All of those things, everything you're going to tell me positive about Ben Roethlisberger is 100% true. But at this point, with this defense that we have, the problem is offense. And we thought coming into the season that offense would pick up and we would have a good run to the Super Bowl for a month. 1-3 over that month. Mm-hmm. We haven't played good football, and it's been because of the offense, and more specifically, it's been because defenses know that we're doing the quick game, and Ben Roethlisberger not being able to accurately push the ball down the field.
Yeah. Listen, man, I watched that game last night, and I got to tell you, I was waiting for the Bengals to mess it up. I hate both teams. I mean, let me be, 100% clear about that. I hate both teams, but there were moments in this game where I was just waiting for the Bengals to, mess it up. And, here comes Pittsburgh, here comes Ben and the offense to save the day. The defense got schooled on a couple of plays, man. I wasn't expecting what's the quarterback name? Ryan Finley.
Finley, yeah.
For the Bengals. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he he was trying to get his own imitation of Lamar Jackson on a few plays. Even the one touchdown run he had where it didn't look like any of the defenders saw it coming. This is a bad loss. I mean, I'm sure you've heard that thousands of times already.
The past 3 weeks have been bad losses. I want to be clear on that. The football.
I disagree. I think 2 of the 3 are bad losses.
The football team is a bad loss because of caliber of team they are. The Buffalo Bills is a bad loss because that's a show me what you got game. And the Bengals is a bad loss because it's a division game where we should have locked up our division. In my opinion, all 3 of these games were bad losses, and all of them were in December.
Was a show me game for who? For Buffalo?
For Pittsburgh as well.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about it last week. Talking about the Bills and how far they've come from last year and kind of how we should have expected the Bills to be what they are, or we should have seen it coming. I don't know if I would consider that. I mean, you and I see different on this. I think that's a loss that was expected by many. I think it was, to your point, sort of a measuring stick kind of a game to kind of see where you guys are. It doesn't necessarily, for me anyway, it doesn't necessarily equate to being a bad loss. It was just you played the Bills, y'all lost, and it's like, all right, we lost. We got some things to work on. We got some, things that we got to tighten up, especially if we're going to potentially see the Buffalo Bills again in the playoffs.
But see, not only did we lose to the Buffalo Bills, we lost to the Buffalo Bills handily. The score didn't tell the story.
Of course.
And it was in December when teams that are serious contenders are supposed to be reaching their peak. We are descending at this time and have been descending since the Baltimore game. We've been descending. These are bad losses. I don't. It's not like we played a good offensive game in all of these games. We played bad offensively.
Bad offense, no question.
And the defense played well enough to win all three of the games we lost. The defense played well enough to win. It's just the offense not delivering. I get, obviously Stephon Diggs had a moment in the second half, and Josh Allen, they had a moment in the second half.
Yep.
And but still, all in all, they scored 23 or 24, I think it was.
Sure. Yep.
So it's like we did what was necessary is on defense. Even with, we are playing. Let's be clear. With all of that's happening, we are still number 1 in scoring offense, number 6 in rushing. We're still a quality top of the totem pole defense, and the offense is just continuing to they're getting a lot of these plays that are happening where the defense is getting beat is because they just been on the field for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, listen. I kind of care what happens moving forward. I have a hard time envisioning your team losing 5 straight regular season games to end the season.
Yeah.
I have a hard time seeing that. So I'm very confident that, look, I have no doubt that the Ravens are going to win their next 2 games. I am 100% confident that we're going to beat the Giants next week at home, and we're going to beat the Bengals in Cincinnati to close the season out. As many people know out there, the Ravens don't control their own destiny. They need the Dolphins to lose. They need the Colts to lose. They need the Browns to drop one.
Yeah.
I heard on the radio today that they were saying the best scenario for the Ravens would be the Titans to lose their final 2 games. And I kind of was like, I understand the math there, but I don't think the Titans are losing both of those games.
Right.
I think they're going to lose to Green Bay if there's a loss to be had, but I don't see them losing to the Texans. I think that's their last game. And, who knows, maybe Deshaun Watson, balls out, but I don't trust that defense. But listen, man, I think the Steelers win one of these final two games. I just have a hard time, and I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to get my team in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a hard time that a Mike Tomlin coached team is going to lose 5 straight games to end a regular season. And not only that, you're now the number 3 seed right now. You're tied with the Bills, and the Bills got the head-to-head over you guys. And I was just looking this up the other day. You guys, I mean, even before this loss to Cincinnati, you guys could drop to the 4 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I'm like, they don't want the 4 seed. I mean, the 2 seed and the 3, the 2 and the 3 is not, there's not much difference there. I mean, the only difference is a bus trip to Buffalo, if that has to happen. But dropping to the 4 seed, I don't think the Steelers want that. Now you're talking about, right, now you're talking about the Browns, trying to get this division from y'all, the final week of the season. And that's why I have a hard time believing that they're going to drop these next 2. Y'all might drop one of the 2. I don't think y'all going to drop both of these games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, look, at this point, if we don't find a way to get Ben Roethlisberger going, because like I said, I don't think it's going to be him. I just don't believe it's going to be him anymore. I believe that if they're going to be successful, it's going to be Randy Fichtner having to do some amazing play calling to free some stuff up for Ben Roethlisberger. Because like I said, I just don't believe Ben Roethlisberger to be that guy anymore. I just don't. Like, we're not gonna get any semblance of him shaking off tackles and doing that anymore. I ain't gonna say the offensive line has been bad, but they certainly haven't been up to the snuff that I'm used to.
Right. Right.
So I'll be honest with you, man. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not rooting for it. But if you got me being honest, I'm concerned about a first round exit. I'm genuinely concerned about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, right now that's possible. Right now.
I mean, I would even say at this point, and I know I'm being a prisoner at the moment, but I'm going to lay in it. I would even say that based on the way this offense is playing, it's more likely than it isn't.
Yeah. Right now, the way things look, it just looks like y'all just gonna get bounced out in the first round. Like, it don't even matter. Like, you look at everybody else in the AFC. I mean, maybe except the Dolphins. I'd say, with the exception of the Dolphins, I think everybody else is licking their chops to get at the Steelers right now.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, speaking of the Dolphins, man, this is one of the reasons why. And I had this conversation with Chibs on Twitter the other day. It's like, look, man, I know you a prideful man, and you Ravens fan, and we all Ravens fans and all this good stuff, but I want to get in the playoffs.
Right.
And if it means that Pittsburgh got to win one of these 2, then so be it. I want a chance at a Super Bowl. Because look, with Pittsburgh's schedule, that is the most likely way we're going to get in. I don't trust the the Vegas Raiders. I don't trust them. I don't trust anybody else that's on the Colts or Browns schedule right now, minus you guys, in terms of, the history, the experience with Mike Tomlin, the experience with Ben. For me, there has to be some kind of way where they come out of this thing. You would have thought last night, after, and rest in peace to Kevin Green, great linebacker. You would have thought that happening, combined with a division title on the line, was gonna spark this team up and say, hey, we've been playing bad for 2-3 weeks now. Let's just come out here and let's just bust these Bengals up. And yeah, just came out flat. That's another reason to be concerned.
I mean, but we didn't have slow starts for the majority of the year. That doesn't even concern me. For me, what concerns me, and at this point, I'm beating a dead horse. they running the same old quick pass stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I have no choice but to believe it's because of the capabilities of Ben Roethlisberger. And the running game we can't get the running game going. They attempted to run play action last night, and they haven't been running play action. I mean,
not
really,
a lot
at all. Literally, they haven't been running play action, and you could tell they made a concerted effort to try to run play action to do something to try to get this pass rush up off them a little bit. And and shout out to Benny Snell who had a good game, but it's just like it's not working. Nobody's respecting it because you don't have a running game. Like we at this point, we'd rather you try to beat us with beat us running the ball, and then the simple fact that we was down 17 points at halftime is like, all right, be my guest, run. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Be my guest.
It's almost as if the offense is predictable, right? Like when you don't have no play action.
It's not almost. We're predictable. We are a predictable offense.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm showing you what we're gonna do. Stop it.
and they know.
Yeah. The defense know what y'all doing from the jump, man. There's something I do got to point out in that game in addition to some of the problems, right? So on the offensive line, and I know this was maybe one of his worst games this year, but Villanueva was getting owned last night. There were some plays where I'm just
Carl Lawson is an underrated pass rusher. He's one of the better pass rushers in the game. I'll shoot him bail because, like I said, it's not like he hasn't been like all pro level, but he's been consistent. I think that's the first sack he allowed all like damn near all year. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to per se hold that against him. Do I wish he would have did better? Sure, but I'm not going to so much hold that against him. And it's not like we didn't have a whole bunch of tight end depth, so it's not even like we was really give him a whole bunch of help because Vance McDonald after Ebron had hurt his back, it was just Vance McDonald. Vance McDonald was the only other tight end we had active last night, so it was like
so that hurt too. Like not having Ebron the rest of the game kind of hurt.
Well, Ebron not a good blocker anyway. He don't really be in there for blocking anyway. But it's just a lot, man. And like I said, I can't speak enough positivity about the defense because the entire linebacker core is gone.
Yeah.
Outside of TJ Watt, and the fact that they're still in games defensively is like it's the offense. I think we'd be just fine if we had this offense going, and we just don't have.
Yeah, defense ain't a problem, man.
Yeah, it's just not a problem.
It's just like I said last week. I mean, your defense can only do so much. 3 and outs, getting off the field, giving the offense a chance. But when they give the offense a chance, they don't come through.
Yeah,
and you get to a point to where defense get tired. There's no faith. 4th down conversions, not converting those. At a point, man, it just all starts to crack, man.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, just, we got 2 weeks left in the season. You got the Colts coming in, and then, it might be safe to say, well, maybe not safe to say, because I think if you beat the Colts, the North is yours.
Yeah.
But what do you realistically see happening down the stretch here?
Realistically, I'm not gonna lie to you, Trey. I'm not about to be realistic. What I expect to happen is I expect the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the Colts, lock the division up, and rest whoever needs to be rested against the Cleveland Browns. That's what I expect. I don't know if that's realistic. I don't really care. What I expect is them to beat the Colts at home. And get this division, and then go ahead and rest some players and get healthy because we're gonna need them for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a good point about the rest part. We did mention that last week also, where it was possible that if they beat the Bengals, that they could take these 2 weeks to just rest guys and get them ready for the playoffs.
I was sincerely expecting this to be a win, a decisive win, to the point where we was going to be able to rest some starters in the fourth quarter, and clearly that's not the way things panned out.
Yeah, nope, not at all, man. So listen, this is what I expect. I don't care if y'all got to go on the road for the playoffs. I don't care. Just get me one. Get me one against either one of these two teams. I don't care. I know I'm confident that my team's gonna handle their business. The only slight faith I have is in one of these two games that y'all gonna play in, because I don't trust nobody else at this point.
How much stock do you put in the idea of us? Because if we lose out, y'all are out. Is that correct?
Well, if we lose out,
no. If Pittsburgh loses out, you guys are out.
But that's if the Dolphins win out.
Okay.
Because like I said, if the Dolphins lose one of these final two, we jump right in that 7th spot.
Got you. Okay.
So it's got to be one. It's got to be one of those three teams: okay. Colts, Dolphins, Browns. One of those three teams has to lose one down the stretch for us to jump to the 7th spot.
Gotcha.
Or the unlikeliness of the Titans losing their last two. I don't see that being realistic in a sense. So yeah, look, just get one of these two. That's all I ask. I got teased on Sunday. I'm watching the Colts and the Texans, and I'm watching Kiki Cutie running for a touchdown, and he fumbles at the goal line, and bam, the game's over there. I'm watching the Dolphins be down by it was down by 7, I think, and it's crazy because I was actually setting my FanDuel lineups for that particular game, and I didn't realize that Gesicki, Devontae Parker, some of the Miami running backs, like all those guys were not going to play in the game.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, yo, like the Patriots got a real chance here, to get a win here. And Cam Newton, and it's not all his fault, but Patriots just couldn't do enough to hold the Dolphins off. They eventually got away with it in the fourth quarter with that touchdown, and they beat the Patriots. So I wasn't able to get the help on Sunday, and then the Browns and the Giants, which was, I'll be honest with you, that was a snooze fest of a game.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, that was just a snooze fest. But just one point about that game for me is that Joe Judge cost this football team a W.
Yeah, I don't care.
I
don't care because I don't take the Giants serious. So it's just
sure. But I just need to point it out because not a lot of people are putting the blame where it needs to be at when it comes to that particular game. So just another week. We still in the 8th spot, and we just gonna have to watch these other games and see what happens in week 16. I like I said, I'm confident we'll beat the Giants on Sunday. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. So the Rams lost a game that they had no business losing. And this was
I told you, man.
What, that the Jets had to get one somewhere?
They had to get one somewhere. I don't know where. But it had to happen somewhere, man. And
would have never guessed it was this one.
I didn't guess anyone. I didn't, because I didn't know. I just felt like they couldn't go 0-16. I just didn't feel like they was going 0-16.
So a funny story about that, right? So as that game was going on, I'm on Twitter, and Jets fans are just like besides themselves, like, yo, what are we doing? We're trying to tank for Lawrence and da-da-da-da. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all playing an NFC opponent. If y'all win this game, y'all still be like below the Jags because the Jags beat the Colts, which is a conference team.
Yeah.
So y'all would still be all right. So So I went ahead and posted that. I actually posted it on somebody's comment, and man, my mentions was just flooded with, "Yo, you a dumbass," and it's yeah, like niggas was like, "Yo, you big dummy." It's by strength of schedule, and it's like, all right, people, all right, I get it.
Gotta love social media.
I know, man. I'm like, I get it, people. I get it. I was just trying to make y'all feel a little bit better about them winning the football game. Like, don't be mad at me. I'm just trying to come up with something. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that when it comes to the draft order that they go by strength of schedule at first.
There you go.
I had no idea.
Learn something new every day, right?
Yeah, right. So yeah, but I really want to roast the Rams here because all game long this team just was not up to play this football game, man. They really wasn't. And if you're the Rams and you got a lead on this division and people are trying to take you seriously as a Super Bowl contender, you can't drop games like this and then go to Seattle the following week where I'm not sure you're going to beat the Seahawks right now. Like, it's like the division next week is for the taking right now.
Yeah,
and the Rams just blew that chance right there.
Much like the Giants and Cleveland game, this game don't really hold a whole bunch of weight with me outside of the fact that the Jets got a game, but anytime, and this ain't the first time the Rams have kind of given away a game that they maybe shouldn't have given away.
Mm-hmm. And this season, you mean, or this regime?
This regime.
Okay.
So for me, when it happens, it always boils down to this quarterback, and this quarterback didn't have a good game.
Oh, he was terrible.
He didn't have a good game. And I get that he's not to blame for every single game they lose, and blah 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 blah. But when you lose to the Jets 0-12, 0-13, whatever the hell they are.
0-13. Man.
Yeah, man. Look, the defense surely has its faults, but you should have been able to hang. You should have been able to hang 35 on this team. You should have been able to hang 35 on this team.
Yeah.
And if you are to be taken serious, and it goes back to our conversation about where we regard the Rams in the powerhouses of the NFC, or the NFL for that matter, they're just not there. They're just not there. Mm-hmm. And if it's solely because of Jared Goff, then so be it. But they're not there.
Yeah, I pounded the pavement with this team. Like, this team could really, make a Super Bowl run. I mean, it was more so because of the defense, and more so they got that running game kind of going the way they did a couple of years ago when they went to the Super Bowl. But now I just don't have the confidence because it's likely that they're going to have to go on the road 3 times to try to get to the Super Bowl, and I don't believe the Rams can do that.
I don't believe the Rams are a Super Bowl team. So,
you think the Bucs are still?
With that roster, I'm gonna say yes, but no. If that answers your question. Mm-hmm. For me right now in the NFC, and I get that these are the obvious choices, but they are the choices. It's the Packers and the Saints, and more so the Packers.
I'll be honest with you, I think it's just the Packers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and more so just the Packers. Right.
It's just the Packers to lose at this point, and we could talk about the Saints and the Chiefs, and Breeze was just off. For most of the game.
And I won't, and Russ game, all those things, playing the Super Bowl champs. I won't put so much stock in his performance in that game. But you're right. But you're right.
Yeah, I mean, they were going to lose anyway.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought whether it was Taysom Hill, Jameis, or Drew Brees, that's not rusty. I would have picked the Chiefs anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that I mean they were this close to beating them, kind of shows me a lot. Like, all right, and they had no Michael Thomas there too, which
Yeah.
I didn't find out till game day. So yeah, for me it's Green Bay. It's really nobody else for me. The Bucks still to this week haven't figured out that, hey, just let Tom Brady be Tom Brady. Like, just let him, be what his strength is. And I don't think they've really done that 100% completely. Now they played the Falcons, so anybody's gonna come back and beat the Falcons.
Right.
You know what I mean? Um, but they didn't start off so great. They was down 17-0, I think, and I think the score was 24-7 at one point, and everybody was looking like, yo, like the Bucks, man, it might be a wrap for this team. Like, as far as trying to make a run in the playoffs, because I
Yeah.
think they're still getting to the playoffs. It's just now, are they going to be able to try to go through Russell Wilson, try to go through Aaron Rodgers? Um, I, I just don't see that with this team.
Um. Yeah, but I think for me, and I hate to say this, but I'd rather say it with Tom Brady in the NFC than in the AFC. He's Tom Brady. They put together a team
Mm-hmm.
that are and more
On
so
paper.
offense, yeah, on paper, and more
Mm-hmm.
so offensively than I'm speaking defensively, but they're good defensively on paper as well.
Yeah.
Um, that should thrive in the playoff situation. So take what you will with it. I won't close the door on the Bucks if they get a ticket into the playoffs, even if they were a 7 seed, which obviously they won't be, or at
They
least I
won't be
don't
a
think
seven seed.
yeah, they won't be a 7 seed. But even if they were a 7 seed, I think
Mm-hmm.
if any of those teams you should be concerned about that they just get them in.
Mm-hmm.
If they're in, then it's any given Sunday, and Tampa
Yeah.
Bay is any given Sunday team. I feel like more than uh a lot of the teams that are going to be in the playoffs this year.
Yeah. I think they have a great chance. Like, if they get the 5 seed, that means they're gonna play whoever wins the East. And whether it's the Giants or Washington, I think if the Bucks get that 5, I think they got a shot to win that game. And then whoever else they got to play in that divisional round, whether it be Seattle or even the Rams. Um, I'd give the Bucks a chance against those two
Give them
opponents.
a I know they lost both games in New Orleans. I would still give them a chance against New Orleans.
Yeah, I would give them a chance. Well, I think with the way the roster is right now in New Orleans, because I,
Yeah.
I don't think Breeze is 100%, and we don't know what Michael Thomas's situation is. No, yeah, I do. He's on IR.
Yeah.
He's on IR.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. I take
I
that
would
back.
give them I'd give them a chance.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Speaking of the East, man, I'm here to say it finally. I was trying to give the Eagles a chance. I thought they'd run the table and win the East. They're not going to win the East, man. They're not going to do it, man. But Jalen Hurts needs to be the starter week 1 in the 2021 season.
Is Cameron Carson Wentz a starter somewhere else next year?
Uh, I don't know. I would lean more towards yes, than no.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why. I mentioned the Colts situation, and I don't think Philip Rivers is going to be there next year. I think that's a good possibility there. I think they have money that they'll be able to compensate for that contract that Philly gave them.
Right.
Um, I don't like the fact about Carson Wentz that this dude is soft, man. I hate to put it that way, but the dude is mentally soft.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand the circumstance that, he's experiencing. I mean, you play to an MVP level, you get hurt. The guy that takes over for you takes the team to the Super Bowl, wins the Super Bowl, comes back the following year, you get hurt again. The guy takes you to the playoffs, you win a game, could have beat the Saints that year. If it wasn't for an interception right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get hurt again the following year in the playoffs. And so it's like you can't stay healthy. The team won a Super Bowl without you, and now you're in this year where, let's be clear, he's played awful in just about every game this season.
Mm-hmm.
He's played awful.
Mm-hmm. And he hasn't had a complete game.
Right. And so Jalen Hurts comes in, has a complete game against the Saints. And I'll be honest with you, man, Jalen Hurts played great against the Cardinals on Sunday. I thought that was a great performance given the circumstances. Now the defense wasn't, like they was last week, but if you got to deal with Kyler Murray, it's going to be difficult anyway. But right. I thought Jalen Hurts, played very well, and they were in it to, tie that game up.
Yeah. First of all, good game. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. And I agree, for all intents and purposes, that should be the starting quarterback of this team. You should be trying to deal Carson Wentz and clear whatever cap space you can clear.
Yep.
Because you got your quarterback. You got your franchise quarterback right now. Carson Wentz ain't it. Jalen Hurts is it. That's the way I feel. 2 games sample size. I think, and I said it back when they drafted Jalen Hurts, it was very clear to me that they drafted Jalen Hurts to get the light of fire under Carson Wentz's ass, and he ended up not performing under the pressure.
Yeah,
and getting benched. And not only getting benched by but at this point, and I get it's a sample size of 2 game sample size, being outplayed by Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, if you're the Eagles, you can't go back.
I don't think you can go back. I don't think you can go back and the rest of the team be happy about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. This situation is similar to the Ravens when Lamar came in for Joe, and Lamar played the rest of that season and went to the playoffs, and then it was his job to keep. I mean, it was his job to keep the moment he got that first start in the middle of that year. But this is the same thing going on in Philly, except Joe got hurt. Carson is just mentally, shot at this point. With this team. I think he needs a clean scenery somewhere else. And I'll be honest with you, if it was in a backup role, I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't care neither. I think a back, and this is his 4th year.
It's 5th year.
5th year, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a backup role.
Yeah,
sorry, it should be a backup role. It should be a backup role.
Well, I got a question about that though. I think it's easier to say that if he's on the market and you just pick him up off the market, but in this case, it's going to be a trade. So somebody's going to be investing money in him.
Investing money in him, right?
And they're not going to do that just so you can sit on the bench. You know what I mean?
That's a great point. That's a great point. But then, okay, so the Colts, that's what you're standing by? That's the best deal or best situation for both teams?
I think that's the best situation. Because Phillip Rivers is getting 20 right now on that 1-year deal, I think.
Yeah, I think it's getting a little bit more than 20.
You think it's a little more than 20?
I thought it was a little more than 20. I don't know the name, but I don't know the numbers.
That makes it more the case then. If he's getting 20 and Carson's getting what? Was he 30 something? Was Carson
33?
33? Yeah, I think they got $10 million more per year somewhere.
I'm trying to think of a team where maybe I could see if I could sell you on Carson Wentz going to start for next year.
Yeah.
And
I don't think the Eagles trade him to anybody in the conference, though.
Okay.
I know that's something that's common, but I have a hard time seeing them trading him to somebody in the conference.
I can
do you think John Elway takes a snag at Carson Wentz?
I would say no, because Drew Lock, you invested in Drew Lock. You drafted him high. In attempts to get a franchise quarterback, and I get injuries. He hasn't had the opportunity to really
right.
I guess show improve, but he's under that evaluation phase right now. It would, in my opinion, unless you know what you got, and I wouldn't pull the trigger on that. I was thinking maybe Jacksonville, but then that's the same situation with Denver. Like, you got Gardner Minshew, and you feel like,
well, Jacksonville might draft Trevor Lawrence.
That's a fact too.
Yeah,
that's a fact too.
Yeah, I think Jet fans would love that if the Jacksonville Jags got Carson Wentz.
So you think the Gardner Minshew experiment is effectively over if the Jacksonville Jaguars get the first pick? Which it seems like they will.
I would, me personally, I would like to see Gardner Minshew get, another opportunity.
But where at this point?
Huh?
But where at this point?
Oh, in Jacksonville.
Okay.
In Jacksonville. I would like to see another year of Gardner Minshew in Jacksonville.
But you think if they get Gardner, if they draft Trevor Lawrence this year, do you think Gardner Minshew gets another chance, another shot at being the franchise quarterback? And they drafted.
I think he stays on that roster for a year.
No. I get, Does he, if Trevor Lawrence is drafted,
by the
Jaguars, does Gardner Minshew have a realistic opportunity at being the starting quarterback anymore? The franchise quarterback.
In Jacksonville or elsewhere?
In Jacksonville.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's like, for me, I get maybe you would like to see him get another year, but let's be clear, if they draft Trevor Lawrence, Gardner Minshew's franchise quarterback dreams in Jacksonville are done.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for certain. I was just trying to paint the picture that I would like to see that happen for him, but I think the reality is that if Jags get the number one pick, they're going with Trevor Lawrence. I don't think.
Yeah, who do you? I know this is kind of random. Who has? Who has? Is there like, I'm sitting here really trying to run through my mind. Maybe who doesn't have either have a franchise quarterback or have somebody they believe is a franchise quarterback right now? Jacksonville.
Who doesn't have one right now?
Who doesn't have a friend? Who either doesn't have one? Believe they have the guy in their room that could be one.
Washington.
Okay.
Washington, and just to kind of stick with them for a minute. Haskins got in the game against Seattle, started the game against Seattle, and my man's, I don't know if he went to stadium or one of the strip
club,
but he was in a strip club. He wasn't wearing his mask, and man, he was taking some heat today, bro. Said they said he apologized.
I didn't get a chance
to
right. I didn't get a chance to get this, read the story, but yeah.
It was by Reese Waters, who I think works for the sports station down there in DC.
I know he does the CBS show.
On Channel 9, right? Yeah. He posted the picture on Twitter. It was a picture of somebody's IG story. And it was him and throwing dollars and some girl's booty in the shot.
It's just he didn't have a mask. It's just the mask.
It's about the whole social distance thing.
I don't care about all that other stuff.
I don't have a problem with him dropping dollars at the strip club. It's just in this time where players and coaches are trying to stay safe and trying to get the season going and trying to follow protocols. You in a strip club and you ain't wearing a mask. That's really the issue right there.
That's the issue. That's an issue.
So, I think Washington is one of those teams.
Washington, Chicago.
Chicago is another spot. What do you think about Detroit right now? Because I think, and I know you mentioned Stafford in your little soapbox last night on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think the Lions might be primed to move on from Stafford in the offseason. Like, I think that's a real possibility.
Yeah, that was my wish list. I would love and just so it's on record, my wish list is Matthew Stafford and that we draft Najee Harris from Alabama. That's my wish list right now.
You also mentioned Sam Darnold and
yeah.
I can't remember who the other quarterback you mentioned.
Neither can I really, but
you was in your feelings last night.
I was definitely in my feelings. I'm still kind of in my feelings. I could just talk about it openly now. Yeah, but Matthew Stafford to the Steelers, and if we can get him to the Steelers, for I don't know, 25, which is probably unlikely, but get him for 25 and then 25 a year, and then sign Najee Harris and get Najee Harris in the second round at running back.
Yeah,
I'd be very thrilled about our Super Bowl chances next year. But
it's a pipe dream at this point.
Pipe dreams is all it is.
Pipe dream. Hey, speaking of Detroit, I saw this the other day. Jim Caldwell interviewed for the Houston Texans head coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really good look. And Louis Riddick is going to interview for the Lions GM job. It's one of those Jacksonville. Okay. Jacksonville. So that's 3 interviews he's got already to be a general manager.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I hope he gets one of those gigs, because as much as I think he does okay on Monday Night Football, I would much rather prefer him in a leadership role, with some power, with the franchise. So
I'm with you.
So no doubt about that. Can we get into some NBA?
We can, man. You sent me the kite to make some projections, and I am ready to make some projections, man.
Yep, no doubt. I'm ready for that too. But first, we got to say that we got some players that got some contract extensions. Rudy Gobert, $41 million a year. I think it's over 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
With the Jazz. And I can't stop thinking about him being the face of sports coming to a close back in March.
Yeah, me neither. And, obviously, it's happened. It is what it is. All those types of things. And obviously he ain't, with why he did that bullshit he did,
Yeah, let's not forget about the press conference.
Yeah, right. He did that bullshit that he did, but that's not, he's still a good basketball player. All those things. That's not a reason to, vilify him and, he not have a job as the Jazz's starting center. Let's defensive player of the year a few times. He's a guy I said they should have locked this up. So,
Yeah, no doubt about that. So the second player that got money, OG Anunoby with the Raptors, got a 4-year, $72 million extension. So congrats to homie there. And Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
Which has come quite a long way.
native. Yeah, 3 years, $50 million.
Yep, with the Magic. So,
with the Magic, yeah.
So more so happy for him than the others.
Happy for him.
But glad that everybody's, getting their money.
Yeah, for sure. Everything. It seems like he found his home in somewhere where he could play. So
yeah, absolutely. I thought he played well with the Magic.
Yeah.
I thought he played well.
Jumper even looks a little bit better in Orlando than it has in Philadelphia, than it did in Philadelphia. So
yeah, no doubt. All right, man. Predictions. Playoff teams in the Eastern Conference.
I guess it's on me. I'll go from 8 to 1.
Yep.
At 8, the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, you finally because that was I kind of suggested from the jump, with the Rondo addition and some of the other moves that I thought they'd be an 8 seed this year.
The Atlanta Hawks, at 7, the Washington Wizards, at 6, the Indiana Pacers, 5, the Miami Heat, 4, the Celtics, 3, the Sixers, 2, Milwaukee, number 1. Give me the Brooklyn Nets.
So,
nope.
Come on, don't do this, man.
They're not there.
Don't do this.
They're not there.
Don't do
They're
this,
not
man.
there. They're not there.
Don't do this, yo. You hate the Raptors, dog.
It's not that I hate them.
You.
Give me who are the most important players in their front court?
Kyle Lowry and
no, in their front court.
Yeah, the front court. Well, they just re-signed OG. Ibaka's still there, isn't he?
Nope, he's gone.
He's gone. Where did he go?
Don't give me the line. He's gone though. Don't give me the line. He's gone.
He went out west, I think.
Someplace. I want to say he went out west.
He went out west someplace. Okay.
He's gone.
And Marc Gasol's not there. I know that.
And Marc Gasol is gone.
Okay.
I think they are going to are going to hurt in the front. That's going to hurt them in the front court.
Okay.
And
Siakam's still there. So you got Siakam, OG, and whoever else they decide they want to play.
Van Vliet, Kyle Lowry's another
Norman Powell.
Yeah, like look,
not even an 8 seed though. With all those losses, not even an 8 spot.
I'm going with the Hawks, man. I think the Hawks will be better than the Toronto Raptors, man. That's why I'm going with it.
Oh man. Hey, you got me though. You got me. I forgot about the moves that they lost in the offseason. So you got me there. I may have to just change my seating, but even with all that, I still think they're a playoff team. I mean, I think this team is well coached. Until they show me wrong anyway.
And well coached for certain. I agree that they're well coached. I think that the Hawks might. I think the Hawks might just be the better team this year, though. I think Trey Young is going to take the next step.
I agree with that.
I think he's going to take the next step, and for that alone, I mean, obviously they've made acquisitions. We spoke about them. Clint Capella in the middle is going to be big. Bogdanovich they got shooting around them with Bogdanovich and Gallinari. They got shooters. They got somebody that's going to protect the paint and get them buckets in the paint. Veteran point guard to give Trey Young some game on how to be a better point guard.
Yep.
Along with Trey Young being the scoring guard that he is, I think he takes the next step. He won't be the MVP, but
right.
I think he'll be in a conversation in the lower part of that conversation.
Right. Yeah, because he'll be in the conversation, but you're right.
I think I think he'll be in the lower part of that conversation. Obviously,
yeah.
The guys who the normal guys will be in that conversation.
Yeah, because I don't think the team will be good enough for him to really be like top. I don't know, top 3,
right?
Top
right.
4,
right?
So, look, screw that, yo. I'm gonna stick with my East here. Number 8. This is a hard pick. The Knicks.
I knew that's where you were going.
I got to go with that, and it's funny you mentioned the Hawks, and I kind of got you on board a little bit with the Hawks, but I don't have them in my top 8 right now. This is just a heart pick right now, but if it's not the Knicks at 8, then I do think it's the Hawks, and nobody else there. Number 7, I think we're dead on with that with the Wizards. Number 6, I got the Raptors at 6.
Okay.
Because I do think that the other teams exponentially got better.
Right.
Yeah. And this was without me not knowing about the Ibaka and that. But
okay.
I got him number 6. Number 5 is the Sixers. And I know the coach is an upgrade. It's the whole Ben Simmons thing.
I'll say this though. They've improved in shooting with Danny Green and Seth Curry.
I agree with that.
They've improved in shooting with Danny Green and Seth Curry. Dwight Howard,
yeah, he's there. Yeah,
coming off the bench behind Drew, that's big. I think that's big time.
Yeah.
I think that's big time.
Yeah, he was an unsung hero in the Lakers' run to the title.
Yeah, for certain.
I really believe that. Number 4, I got the Celtics. Number 3, I got the Heat. Number 2, the Brooklyn Nets. And number 1, I got the Bucks. That doesn't necessarily mean that I think they're going to the championship.
Because I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. I think right now, if you're asking me conference finals in the East, I think it's definitely the Nets. And I think the Heat find a way to get back there.
I agree. Give me Nets and the Heat.
Nets and the Heat.
I was indifferent between the Heat and the Sixers. I still don't see that takeover guy.
Right, and that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing for me with the Sixers is they still don't have that dude. They still don't have the guy. Now, if somebody surprises me, like if Joel Embiid surprises me and says, "Hey, I'm just gonna dominate and take over when it needs to be taken over," then fine. I just got to see it.
Yeah, but I never believe it to be a 5 in those types of situations. Unless you're talking about quarters 1 through 3, like that's obviously. But when it's time in the fourth quarter, I never believe it's going to be a 5 or even really a 4, unless it's one of those flex 4s in today's game, like a Luka Doncic. So
yeah, right. I mean, even LeBron, it's sort of that flex 4 too.
But those true 5 and 4s, I don't see it.
Right. Yeah, you need a wing, like a 2 or 3.
Yeah.
A 2 or 3. And I don't think the Sixers have that 2 or 3 right now.
Not that guy. No.
Right. I mean, looking at the list of teams here, I think the Heat has that guy. I think the Celtics have that guy.
Yep.
The Wizards. I think the Wizards have that guy, even though he could get a little crazy at times.
I think that guy's Bradley Beal. So.
Oh, Brad. Okay, yeah, you're right.
I'm
thinking Westbrook.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. Bradley Beal does need to be the closer.
Yeah,
for them. I agree with that. And I mean that's really about it. I mean, unless you want to say Oladipo, could be that guy. I believe he can. I think he wants to.
I think he wants to.
Yeah, I think he wants to. He's got to show me.
Yeah,
I think he's just got to show me. So, Western Conference.
Number 8, give me the Utah Jazz. Number 7, give me the Houston Rockets. Number 6, give me the Phoenix Suns. Number 5, give me the Portland Trail Blazers. 4, give me the Clippers. 3, the Nuggets. 2, the Dallas Mavericks. And number 1, obviously, the Lakers.
So no Warriors.
No Warriors. Splash Brothers.
You kind of broke up there. What'd you say?
No Splash Brothers.
Okay.
No Splash Brothers. Yeah.
Okay.
That's mine.
Okay.
I mean, Draymond. No, he don't.
I can't argue with that though.
Yeah. I know they got the rookie who's supposed.
Wiseman.
He's not gonna make that kind of an impact his rookie year.
Yeah. Okay. I got the Blazers as the 8th seed again. I think their record will be better, but I got them still at the number 8 spot. The Jazz I got at the 7th spot. The Suns will be the 6th seed. I got the Warriors as the 5. And I don't know. I just think Steph and Draymond. I think they'll be good enough to at least get the 5 seed.
I don't believe Andrew Wiggins.
Okay. Oh, and I forgot about Andrew Wiggins.
I don't believe Andrew Wiggins.
And does he have to be? I guess he would have to be the the dude, right?
He'd have to be the Klay Thompson. Yeah, he'd have to be not the dude, because that's what was so good about the Warriors, because one night it could be Steph and the other night it could be Klay.
Right.
So that was what was so good about him. I don't think opposition fears Andre Wiggins being as good as Klay Thompson's. I'm sorry, Wiggins being as good as Wiggins. I mean, being as good as Klay.
Yeah.
So I don't think that dynamic that the Splash Brothers has will be the same with like it wasn't the same for the short time D'Angelo Russell was with Klay. I mean with Steph.
Right. Mavericks, I got at the 4 seed. Clippers at the 3, Nuggets at the 2, and the defending champs, the Lakers, I got at the 1 seed. So I think what team I got out this year that was there last year.
Yep. I think for me, I think where we disagree vehemently is the Portland Trailblazers seeding. Portland fixed their front court. I just want that to be known. Derrick Jones Jr. came in, and Covington of 76 of fame. I think he was with the Rockets last year.
He was with the Rockets last year.
Yeah. They fixed their front court, and along with Carmelo still there.
Yeah.
They fixed their front court issues.
And Nurkic is going to be healthy.
Yeah, they fixed their front court issues.
Okay.
I think they take a step up. I still don't think those guys are going to make them better than what the Clippers, Nuggets, and everybody above that I have above them. I don't think they'll be better, but I think they fixed that front court issue. Portland is going to be a dangerous team more now than they have ever been in the Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum era.
Okay.
They're going to be more dangerous this year than ever.
Okay. All right. You got me on that one. So here's why I don't have the Rockets in my top 8. I just think this James Harden thing is just not gonna pan out. I know he's gonna start with them this year. I think at some point he's gonna get traded by the deadline. And I mean, when you look around, I mean, this is still relatively a small ball team, right?
Yeah.
Still a small ball team.
I think it's important. They signed Boogie Cousins, but but I think the guy to look out for is them signing Christian Wood from the Pistons.
Okay. I heard about that.
Christian Wood is he's going to be good this year. He was good last year in Detroit on a losing team. But I think now that he got quote unquote some winning culture around him. Yeah. He's going to be good. I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah. I don't think the Rockets are going to be like terrible.
No.
I don't think they're going to be in the top 3 for the lottery or anything like that. I just think that they would be number 9 in this case.
Okay.
They would be number 9, probably 42 wins, 43 wins, somewhere around there. I acknowledge John Wall is going to come back. Boogie, I know there's questions about his health and everything like that. I don't know. I just, for some reason this year, I don't necessarily like this team as a playoff team. And I hate saying that because the Rockets, got a black coach in Silas and Steven Silas. And I want him to be successful, but hopefully, if they do some things right, maybe the next off season, then maybe they'll, change my mind about how I feel about them, moving forward. But right now, I just don't see them as a team. I think the Harden thing is gonna linger a little bit.
Do you think he plays in Houston the entire year?
I think he gets traded at some point.
Yeah.
And I heard that the Heat pulled out of those sweepstakes for Harden.
Yeah.
I know the Sixers were in talks about putting Ben Simmons in a package for him. And the Nets,
they came out and said that they have no interest in getting rid of Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I saw that. And the Nets, quite frankly, I think they're fine with who they got right now.
Yeah, they don't need him. Yeah.
So I can't think of anybody else. I mean, I know we talked Milwaukee also as a possibility, but I don't think he wants to go to Milwaukee. And
I don't
that's no
think.
disrespect to the city, but I just don't see him as a guy, going to Vegas to going to little babies' parties to hanging out in Milwaukee. I
Right.
just don't see that.
Right.
So, league MVP, your predictions for that award?
And I kind of went back and forth. I'm taking Luka.
Okay.
I'm taking Luka.
Okay.
If he stays healthy all year, yeah, I'm taking Luka.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. That might be the majority of people's picks for MVP.
I'm still hearing Giannis. I'm still hearing Giannis, but I don't see him getting it for 3 years in a row. That's one. And then two, I'm not high on Giannis anymore. So
I don't see him getting it.
And of course he'll still be good in the regular season. His numbers
right.
is all that, but I don't see it.
Right. So I thought about this guy, and I kept asking myself, okay, can he realistically win MVP? And my answer is yeah, I watched this dude in the playoffs ball night after night, dropping 50, dropping 40, dropping 50, right? And I'm like, you know what? Jamal Murray, I think, has a chance to be league MVP this year.
I don't know about Jamal Murray because he's not even widely considered the best player on his team. Regardless of people's opinion, I think widely Jokic would have a better chance of winning MVP than Jamal Murray. But if I'm to throw a dark horse MVP out there, and it just came to me while you was talking because I thought you was going to say him, Devin Booker.
Okay.
Devin Booker, with Chris Paul going and getting him the ball.
Yep.
And
better shots.
He's I like Devin Booker for a dark horse pick. And I also want to mention that Ayton's game is going to elevate hugely.
That Suns team is going to be so good this year.
Having a point guard.
Yeah.
Ayton's game is going to elevate.
Yeah. The Suns are going to be so good this year, man. I can't wait to watch their games.
Even though I only got him as a 6 seed, but
I got him as a 6 seed also.
Yeah.
I mean, I was impressed by the undefeated record in the bubble. And people was telling me they went 8-0 because they in a bubble and da 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 da. And I'm like, no. They were off for about 4 months, came back to play, and then went 8-0. And me personally, I think that's going to be a continuation of how they're going to be the following season. And then they make the Chris Paul move, and now I think that solidifies that.
Yeah.
So, listen, man, I'm done. I got no more games. Actually, I think I did put another rookie of the year. I think is what I put in our notes.
Yep, rookie of the year for me is Melo Ball. All eyes are going to be on Melo Ball. Melo Ball has court vision as a passer already, and has a better jumper than his brother already coming in. I think he'll win rookie of the year.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I would go with Melo Ball for those same reasons. My dark horse, though, and this is another heart pick, Obi Toppin. I would love to see him, and he's had a pretty good preseason, and I know it's preseason, but he's had a really good preseason up to this point, and the dude is a little more seasoned than some of these cats that's one and dones in college. So I'd like to see him be somewhat of a dark horse rookie of the year candidate, but I do agree with you on Melo. Yep. All right, man. Look, that's all I got. Just want to give a special shout out to all our listeners. Sorry we couldn't be on the podcast platform for you guys tonight,
Not
but
sorry. Not sorry. We experimenting. So y'all fuck around on this VI platform from now on. So not sorry. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us if you're rocking with us. If you're not, then kiss my ass.
okay. What a transition, right?
Hey, bro. Hey, look, man.
What a hell of a transition.
I ain't sorry. Nigga, hell nah.
Oh man. Well, look, you can speak for yourself. I am truly sorry that we were unable to be on the podcast platform. But yes, you are right. We are experimenting some new things for 2021. And, we just hope to bring you bigger and better content moving forward. So make sure y'all check us out on social media. We got the Facebook page. We got the Instagram page at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. You can also follow us at Trey Frazier, at Maestro Styles. Also, we're on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. Also, he's on Twitter at Maestro Styles. You can follow us on our YouTube channel. And also, if you got any questions or comments about the show, you could just email us at barbershopsportstalk1 at gmail.com. So if you got nothing else, man, it's been real.
All right, bro. Love.
Yep. One love.